What's up, guys? It is Tuesday, April 2nd. It's 11:57 p.m. and this is going to be a crypto market update. We're at a make or break level, I would say, right now for Bitcoin. We are at $66,222, and there's a lot of stuff that we got to go over as far as the state of the market, the state of Bitcoin, kind of some thoughts that I've had. This is going to be a video that has a bunch of different aspects to it. It's going to be covering the market, but then there's some stuff I've been smelling on the streets and the tweets as well too that I wanted to go over, as well as some stuff that I was putting in the Discord. It's been a couple days since I've done a video, but in the Discord I've been keeping people updated in real time. So that's why you want to join the Discord. Link is in the bio, because if you don't see a video from me, it's likely I've been keeping people updated in the Discord. So this is going to be a longer video. It's going to be splattered all over the place because I'm trying to get my thoughts down in this video as far as where we're at with everything. So let's first dive into the drivers though. So we're gonna go over the dollar, the pump and dump chart, the alt season pulse chart. We're gonna go over a couple scenarios as well too that I uncovered, a different alternative scenario to the one that we've been tracking. Bitcoin, the others market cap for the altcoins, total 3 as well too. And then we'll go into some anomalies as well. Also found a potential narrative or something that could cause the black swan of this market, kind of like Luna. So you're gonna want to subscribe. All right, let's get into it. So the dollar, we don't want to be above, we broke above that 104.5 key level that I was talking about in the previous market updates. So as soon as we broke above that 104.5 level, we got to above 105, and that was on April 1st. That was yesterday, well, about to be 2 days ago. And the market didn't like that. The market didn't like that at all. That's what really brought Bitcoin down back below 70K to then touch 64.5K. But now that we're seeing the dollar at a potential area of turning over, we could be at, this is what I'm saying, we're at a make or break point. Because if we see the dollar reverse and start to go back up, then with Bitcoin being at the key level where it's at, we could see a further dump in the market. But if we see the dollar roll over right now and continue a meltdown, breaks kind of key levels, continues to go down, then we could be at the point of a massive bounce for Bitcoin back up to reclaim 71K, which will then turn these altcoins around in a big way. And we could see the old season of our lives heading into, well, in April, heading into May. So where we're at right now in the market, these next 24 hours, 48 hours are going to be critical as to how April plays out here and how basically these next few months play out. Because if it turns out to be the opposite scenario where we see the dollar pump up, Bitcoin break down, this is going to be a move that's so big and so kind of detrimental to the market that it could really have an impact on the market for some months here. So you're going to want to watch the whole thing. So the dollar right now is at a key level. I mean, we have this trend line coming up like this. We had a little bit of a fake breakdown to a break back up, but really this is the key trend line. If we look at the 6-hour chart, you can see we've been holding support. We had a breakdown, we filled the gap right there, came back up, support, had our big bounce there, and right now we're at that key level. So what we need to see is the momentum in the dollar break back down below 104.5 to start off, but really getting back below 104 flat is going to be key, because if we can get back below 104, then that will be enough likely to really pull these higher time frames, like the 1-day chart, to have it cross down. And when we crossed down the last time in February, late February, on the TSI for the dollar on the 1-day chart, that's what started the dollar downtrend, and that's what really started to pump Bitcoin and cryptos up. So where we're at as far as this key trend line for the dollar, it is so important, and what happens on these lower time frames are going to spill into the higher time frames. And we need these higher time frames to turn over with the momentum. The 4-hour chart looks good as far as TSI's crossed down, MACD's red, the blue is getting close to crossing above that pink, which is good. When we had that breakdown below the trend line before, the blue did get above, but then we pumped back up, the blue then went back below, the pink went. So these next 4 to 8 hours, by tomorrow morning, it's going to be important to see this blue cross above the pink, because then we have more insight being like, hey, we could see a dollar dump, which in turn will be good given that Bitcoin being at this key level, we'll see pop up. So that's where we're at. The dollar on the 4 hours is looking like it's rolling. The 6-hour chart is starting to turn over with the momentum. The 12-hour chart, if we take a look at it, we need to see that cross down below the 50 line, the stock RSI, and then the TSI ultimately cross down as well too. And then if we can see that 4-hour blue get above the pink and we see kind of a couple days of that momentum heading down, then we'll start to see that blue come up and that pink come down, which will be solid. And really getting below that 104 level will be will probably seal the deal as far as the blue getting above the pink and then this dollar downtrend starting. If we take a look at the pump dump chart, we want to see this chart go down for cryptos to go up. If this chart goes up like it did on April 1st, that's where we saw Bitcoin break down. So we need to see this start to roll over. And one thing that I say a lot on this channel is when we break a 786, we can automatically target the 2618, and that's exactly what we did. We broke it with a 786, we smashed through the 1618, and we went right up to that 2618, which probably so happens to coincide with a 786 here. We take this high down to the low, bang, right to a 786 as well too, so we have confluence. So the level that we must maintain below for the pump and dump chart is this key level right here. Because if we start to break up above there, which we kind of did a few hours ago, it started to look like we got rejected right there on April 2nd. And then the daily candle close happened and it started to look like we're sharply pumping up above it. But then we came back down. So it was a fake breakdown to a pop up, which usually most of the time calls bottoms. So that's so far good. But we need to see continued continuation lower for the pump dump chart if we're going to see the crypto market have a nice strong reversal here and start to go up. So right now, this is so far so good. The 4-hour chart, we definitely want to see cross down. We're not quite there yet. These next, by the morning, it's going to be very telling as to how tomorrow's going to play out, which will be telling to how the rest of this month plays out, which will then be telling to how the rest of these few months play out. So we're at a key level. We need to get rejected. We need to roll over and we need to come back down. And where do we need to ultimately break below for cryptos to go on a massive face melting rally is the belly of the beast. When we were making videos back when I think it was when we were at this trend line like this and we said, hey, like if we break down below here, I believe that was the trend line. Oh, no, it was like this. We started to break down from here and it was late February and we're like, hey, like usually when you break a trend line like that, you have a steep fall. Where can we target? And we had said, hey, probably the belly of the beast down here because we had that macro 786. We had the bottom of the belly of the beast. We're breaking a long-term trend line as well like this. We had the momentum curling over. So the odds of us breaking down and heading down fast were very strong at that point. And where did we say was the time to get cautious? It was right here because you're at a macro 786, you're at the bottom of the belly of the beast. So then we started to break below the beast and then we popped up above and that was even a bigger time to be cautious. And then we were saying, hey, around March 18th to the 23rd, caution time period, we could see a dump. And that's exactly what happened because when we started to pop up here, it was like March 13th to the 23rd and we saw cryptos dump into that key time point because the pump dump chart started to pump up, cryptos dumped. And then we started to see some relief after the 23rd into, the tail end of March. And then April 1st, we popped up. And now what we're starting to do is we're starting to see some red, but we need to see continuation lower. We popped up to a key level as a 786 from the high down to the low. Maybe we just need to do a retest of that and then we can roll. But right now the 2-day chart's crossing up, the 1-day chart's crossing up. And we're like right below that zero line. So what we need to see is an immediate in the next 24 to 48 hours, this roll over so we can avoid getting above that zero line because that's not good if we get above the zero line. We want to see this cross back down. So that's where we're at as far as the pump dump chart. We're at a key point in the structure that we need to get rejected and roll over and ultimately break below the belly of the beast again, break below this macro 786. Because if that happens, then these altcoins are going on a face-ripping rally across the board. So that's where we're at as far as that goes. If we can see that 12-hour stock RSI come down and break below that 50 line, we're in good order for that to happen. So 8 a.m. tomorrow is going to be key as to where we're lining up with that. Then if we look at the pump dump chart, the alt season pulse chart. So this is, we're on a 3-day chart. So what we did was we broke into the belly of the beast. We had the jaws of the teeth gnashing on the candles. It was trying to eat it up. And it said, nope, it popped back up above the belly of the beast. And the teeth are still gnashing. It's trying to bring it back down. But the alt season pulse chart, the candles are trying to fight for its life to get back above and out of the jaws of the beast. And if we were to pop up and keep going up, I'm directly targeting like 76.6%, which is the 3-day 200 moving average. What we need to see though, if we want to see alts really have a nice bounce here and go into an alt season, is we need to see that beast step up. We need to see those jaws gnash and break it down so it can get swallowed back up and have the bodies of the candles be fully in that green, so then we can melt down in this chart. Because just like the last big alt season, it was 2021 in March. Well, and note this, because let me hide the signals for a sec. The last time we broke into the beast, but then we tried to fight. It tried to fight, and then ultimately the teeth got it, and then it got sucked down. So what could have just happened was we could have had our breakdown into it. It's trying to fight, and what could happen next is it's a real breakdown. So that's on the radar. That's definitely on the radar right now. Because if we do go out to the 3-week chart, we can see that, I mean, if you look at this momentum, it's totally like off the cliff right now. Like, we're melting down in the momentum. 3-week high time frame, TSI totally waterfalling, MACD fully red. We look at the monthly chart, TSI waterfalling, multiple MACDs on the monthly are red. If we look at even the candle right now is in the beast. If we close this month's candle in the beast, it's looking very eerily similar to back here, especially if we close it red. So definitely critical as far as where we're at with the alt season pulse chart, because if we do see a pop up, if we get out of the beast and we pop up and we close the month above 77%, then it's likely we're doing the second scenario that I found, and that's this one. So if I go to a 3-day chart and we take a look here, let me throw back the signals on, because I like to match up the fractals with the signals. And I'm taking, I'm sorry, I think it was the 5-day. Yeah, it was the 5-day. Yeah, it could, So if we see a 5-day buy now signal, this alternative scenario could be playing out. So I'm taking this sell now, matching up with this sell now, and then you see this buy now, and then we popped up, came back down, we had a preparative buy soon, a buy now, and then we had one more impulse up before having that big alt season happen. So I'm going to grab this fractal like this, and we're going to stretch it across, and we're going to match that straight up. And I mean, it's kind of in line right now. If we take, like, let's say it's this point right here, sometimes, I mean, the fractal's not going to follow exactly to a T. But where this prepare to buy soon and the buy now flashed, comparatively with the fractal from back then, prepare to buy soon, buy now, is matching up with this one right here, as well as with that sell now matching up with this right here as well too. So, and then also with this sell off here, we had a prepare to buy soon flash. So that doesn't mean we're immediately gonna, tank because we're gonna go up. I mean, what it says is we still kind of wrestle with the belly of the beast down and up until around like late May or June. And then once June hits, we start to go up in the alt season pulse chart until around like October, the first week of October. But then what happens, and that could be a rapid spike due to a black swan, because back here is March 2020. No, I'm sorry. No, that's not right. That's actually when Bitcoin had its rapid run. We started to rapidly go up like that. So we could see maybe when June comes around, if Bitcoin starts to get leggies again and goes on its own run, we see altcoins sell off because of that, or at least be stable against Bitcoin and Ethereum because of that. But then once the fall hits, then we see a cool off for Bitcoin, cool off for Ethereum, and then we see altcoins really go into a face melting rally, like they're 10xing, 20xing, and we see that pan out until around March of 2025. This is the scenario for a 2025 bull run. If you're banking on 2025, this is what you would want to see for that 2025 extended bull run to happen. We would see us come down like this, we'd pop up. Once that 5-day buy now flashes, then we know, all right, we might be doing a 2025, first quarter bull run top type of thing. So this is what I'm tracking as far as an alternative scenario to the scenario of just melting down right now like this. So these are two scenarios. We have either bull run top coming in around June or July of this year. Ultimately it would come in around like October, November, because you'd come up, and then come back down again. So we would see some altcoins still, potentially hitting new highs at that point. But really the bulk of the gains would come from now until July if this scenario plays out. If the other scenario plays out, that means we see some gains right now, but we don't really see the big massive gains until the fall of this year, and that spans until like Q1 ends of 2025. Those are the two scenarios I'm tracking. It could be either or, because we had the 5-day prepare to buy soon flash there. The buy now came in. We're above the belly of the beast. So if we're above the belly of the beast and that 5-day buy now comes in, then I'm going with this scenario, the 2025 one. If we see the 5-day buy now come in and we're way deep into the belly of the beast, then we've probably already seen the big gains happen. So it's going to be really key for us to watch momentum on those bottom indicators, because if those starting to curl up on a 5-day, then we could be seeing that 2025 scenario pan out. So also to that 5-day prepare to buy soon is flashing right now. A day and 20 hours left for this candle. I mean, when it flashed this time, it was like February 25th. When we had the meltdown, it was like April 1st that it flashed last time. So we can be doing, like a lot of things matching up. April 1st, 2021 for that candle. This was March 31st, 2024. But I mean, it's in the same candle, 5-day candle. So it could be either or scenario, because for each one, we had that 5-day prepare to buy soon flash and the fractals matching up with it. So we have two scenarios that we're tracking now, and it's really going to be dependent on how Bitcoin reacts here, because Bitcoin being at a key level right now, one thing that we're tracking was in the Discord. That's why you want to be in the Discord. If you haven't seen a video, you got to check the Discord, because I'm keeping people updated regardless if I don't do a video. So it was on the 31st. Quick update, Bitcoin getting close to breaking above 71K. This is absolutely needed for alts to start running heavy. If we can see by the weekly candle close tonight in 5 hours a 71K plus close, then things will get very interesting for this week. We have a weekly candle close happening in tandem with a monthly candle close happening. Upon breaking above 71K, I want to see tomorrow and the next days of candle closes above 71K as well. That will give me greater confidence that it's a true breakout above the 786 and not a fake out. If we're able to do that, we'll see the 1-day TSI cross up and momentum start to come back into the market for the upside. So what happened was we had that fake out. It didn't last long when it got above that 71K level. So let me go to the moonshots. We'll go to the daily chart and let's take a look here, because it was only, we got above for a second. We didn't even close the daily candle below it, so above it. So it was a fake breakout to a breakdown. We had continued momentum to the downside, and that's because we didn't see that 1-day TSI cross. It was close, and it said nah and came back down. So what we need to see ASAP to avoid the daily going below that zero line is this 12-hour TSI needs to start crossing up ASAP, so we can see that spill into the daily for it to go something like this, like that. So the 12-hour is down with momentum, and how this is the flip book concept. If you want to know if the daily is going to cross, you got to go down to the 12-hour, and then if the 12-hour you want to see that cross and it's not looking like it, you got to go to the 9-hour to see if we're starting to curl. The 9-hour MACD is starting to go white. That's good. 6-hour, all right, we're not quite there yet. 4-hour starting a hard stop. 3-hour starting to curl. 2-hour crossed. 1-hour going up with momentum right now. So what we need to see is, and this is the flip book concept, because the micro plays into the macro, and the macro, they all work in tandem, is you better see this 1-hour continue up like that and get above that zero line, because if it does, then the 2-hour will have a hard cross, which will spill into the 3-hour, which will cross up, which will then spill into the 4-hour, and the 4-hour will cross up. And then if that happens, the 6-hour will do a pivot. And then if that can happen and crosses, then that will spill into the 9-hour. We'll see that hard turn, right? So all of them are going to play into each other, and it all stems from that 1-hour chart, given that the macro, medium, and micro timeframes are all at a point of overlap. So what happens, usually you want to zoom out and be on the macro, but when you reach a point where you're at a macro key level, you got to go down to the medium and the micro timeframes to gauge and see, all right, what's the likely scenario here? And earlier it was not looking too good, because we had that breakdown but we got saved because we didn't have that cross down. We continued with that momentum. The 1 hour, the pink is now crossing above the blue. We need to see that continue because that needs to spill into the 4 hour chart, the medium time frames and everything like that. It is solid that the 4 hour has prepared to buy soon, but we need to see that vertical blue buy now come in to be like, all right, we got relief. Then I think we might have a 12 hour. Do we have a 12 hour? So no 12 hour. We had the 12 hour buy now back here. Sometimes you just got to retest, but we are at the 12 hour bottom void line band. We need to see that we need to come back up and reclaim the previous all-time high from 2021, which is 69K. If we can get above 69K, we'll see relief. If we can get above 71K, we'll start to thrive. We'll see some nice bounces. If we get above 73K, 74ish K, we'll start to melt up. So that's the key. And our first key level was, I had said, so the drawdown could just be what needs for a wick to print on the monthly candle. If there's any more further downside, I'm targeting the monthly void line lower band as a critical support for Bitcoin. Last month's candle, the one where we had the dip late March, found support stunned right there around 63K. This month's candle, a new price point where the bottom void line band lies at, is 65K flat. So that was on April 1st when Bitcoin was at 68.5K. And let's check on that. So we hit it to a T. So if we take a look at the void line band, let's see. So there we go. So you see how what I was talking about is this. So we had this month's candle, that wick that brought to 60K brought us right to that bottom void line band. When we were at 68K, I was saying, all right, if we're going to dip any lower, the first key level, the line in the sand, is the bottom of that void line band. We want to stay within that band if we're going to see immediate short-term upside and for a potential for new all-time highs. So what we did was we came right down to there. It was around 64.6K actually, and we bounced so far. So very solid. That's great. But if we start to break down below there, our last line in the sand, we do not want to break below 61K to 60K, because if we do, then we're likely coming right down to that purple moving average, which is around 54.3K. And then potentially you could even see a retest of like this trend line like this, which is even deeper, probably around 48K to 52K. No, 48K to 50K, which is previously, so let's say it came down, yeah, like 48K. If you look to the left, that's a key level. But also that was the first of our concrete ceiling. That was the macro 786 from the bull market top to bear market bottom. So if we take a look at that, see that was our first that would bring us right to the concrete ceiling that we first came into, we broke above. But at that point, you know, that's a steep fall. That's around like maybe 10, 15, 20% from current levels for Bitcoin to go down to there. And it all lies on that 64.5K level of where we're at now. And that's the first level. That's where, you know, things, if we bounce right here, it's good. If we come down to 61K, we definitely need to hold. If we start breaking down below 61K and we see a lot of momentum come to the downside, it's likely we're going to see a quick wick down to that concrete zone. And what happens to altcoins in that scenario, you know, there's some blood in that scenario for sure. So very critical time point and key level where we're at right now. And if you want to see everything be okay, you need to see Bitcoin hold that 64.5K level. And ideally, since it already had that kind of breakdown to break up, you want to see it just start to go now. You don't want to see another retest down there. You want to just start to see it go now. So it's going to be key that we get above 69K. We need to reclaim that previous all-time high, and then it's more likely we're safe and sound. But also another thing too is we have this trend line kind of coinciding here. This was like that inverse head and shoulders breakout neckline that we tested, and then we have this trend line too, which was serving as like a support level right here. We kind of extended past it, came back down. So we have support confluence there in line with that monthly void line bottom band as well too. So that's a key level. We got to hold it. And if we do break down, we have that 786, micro 786 at 63K. But really, you know, I'd rather us not even play with that because of the momentum on the 1-day chart and the 12-hour, everything I was showing you earlier. So you definitely want to see by tomorrow daily candle close us reclaim back above 69K, and then Thursday's candle have continuation to that. This is going to be a critical week. Others market cap. So where we're at right now is we need to reclaim back above the macro 786. Where we retested was fine, kind of same thing as far as Bitcoin goes. You had that inverse head and shoulder breakout like this. We retested there, that same old stuff. We had the trend line come down like that we tested as well too. So where we're at right now is like if Bitcoin bounces, the others and the alts will bounce as well too. So really we just got to gauge Bitcoin because that will spill over into the altcoins and everything like that. Where the total 3 chart is at, we need to reclaim back above that purple moving average around 740 billion. If we fall, we have the 1 day 50 moving average EMA ribbon right there as well too. So like if there's any fall, it's very limited in downside that we can go. We have to hold there, or we're going to have a much more substantial drop, which would be like a good 20%, 25% potentially, based off of, if we start to roll over, we only got about like a 5%, 6% room for any downside more. If we see us break down with force, with momentum below that level, there's much more in store. It wouldn't be a small dip. So you want to be watching the market these next 24 to 48 hours, and they're going to want to hope for Bitcoin to get back above 69K ASAP. So that's that. That's as far as what I'm thinking about with the market. We're at a key point. You got to watch the drivers, the dollar. We need to break down from that point. The pump dump chart, you don't want to see it break above that key level. We need to come back down. The alt season pulse chart, you want to see that beast gnash the teeth and get that candle within it. And then we want to see Bitcoin hold that key 65, 64.5K level, not even revisit down there. And you want to see it immediately get back above 69K. And then that will bring the others market cap up to where it needs to be. Total 3 up to where it needs to be. And then we have the potential of Bitcoin get back above 71K, we start to thrive. Gets above 73 to 74K, we start to melt up. So that's what I'm watching. So let's look at any anomalies real quick. I had called out on the Discord, Flare had an anomaly, Litecoin had an anomaly yesterday in the morning, and Flare and Litecoin had a pretty good day. We saw even Flare, actually, let me go to it. I think it went to like 5 cents again, real quick. Yeah, Flare had like a spike up to 5 cents, nobody even noticed. So that was like in the morning that I called that out, and then I think it was later in the day we saw that spike, we came back down, but that could just be a little insight of what's about to happen with Flare next. It's been quiet for a bit, so it could be starting to gear up again. So Flare was one, but let's look at some potential other ones here. Stronghold's flashing one right now. So I'm on the 30, this is more of a day trade time frame. I'm on the 30-minute chart, but right now Stronghold's flashing an anomaly. Let's take a look at if there's any other ones. So the only one flashing at this moment right now is Stronghold. On the 30-minute chart, let's go to an hour chart. So on the hour chart, we have 8 hours ago, Flare did one. So nothing there. Let's look on like a medium time frame, like a 4-hour chart. Oh, but also keep in mind, even though there could be substantial risk to the downside if we break that level, if we actually bounce and we see some nice cross ups, and we see that 12-hour cross up, that 9-hour cross up with Bitcoin, and we reclaim 69K, we could be on the beginning of that big move for altcoins, especially because some have fallen to real extreme lows. We could see massive bounces across the board. So even though we got to be cautious and survive at this moment, in a second's notice, we could be ready to thrive and be ready to really maximize this opportunity, because we'll see double-digit gains across the board if we see this happen. So it's definitely a time point where things could be very cautious survival mode, but we could be at a point also too where things could be very risk on, like we're about to see big melt ups across the board that we can maximize. So it's just a time point as far as a key decision moment for the market. I just want to note that off. I'm not trying to be doom or gloom, because I want to, even though we're at a key point, it could just start to rip up. It all depends on Bitcoin, and that altcoins are going to start to melt up if that happens. On the 4-hour chart, Elastos a day ago, let's see, that's really the most recent. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, not many anomalies right now, but if Bitcoin can get that solid pop-up, this whole anomaly screeners will be lit up in red. So I'll definitely be watching in the morning, and I'll keep you guys updated in Greece City as far as anomalies. But I'm going to be tied up most of the day during tomorrow, so that's why I'm getting this video out to you guys at 12:30 in the morning, so you guys know what to watch. So that's as far as the market goes. Couple other things that I want to talk about. This article came out yesterday. Very interesting. Trump and the gold standard updated 2024, and it was Judy Shelton tweeted it out. She said something about take it as you will or something, but they're talking about the gold standard again. They actually brought up Judy Shelton in here, talking about everything that we teach in Agartha in our educational course program. So let's go down, because it's just like, setting the stage is setting the stage. And let's see. So yeah. Rumors that the gold standard could be reinstated during Trump's presidency centered largely on positive comments he made about the idea. Notably, he suggested that it would be wonderful to bring back the gold standard, and a number of his advisors were of the same mind. Judy Shelton, John Allison, and others support the concept. With Trump set to run as a 2024 presidential candidate, some are again wondering if he will return the country to the gold standard. So like the whole narrative is being brought back. I think it was, let me go to it. Yeah, food for thought, but draw your own conclusions. Judy Shelton, 4 hours ago, posting this article. So something's cooking. This, so many things happening behind the scenes. This is going to be a huge year as far as how these next 4 years play out. But that was one thing that I saw was interesting. I'll put this in the daily news chat in the Discord. You guys can read it. Another thing that I had come to a little conclusion on was I really want to deep dive this whole narrative behind like EtherFi, Athena, coins like Ergo. I haven't dug deep into it yet, but I'm getting whiffs, thinking that this could be a Luna round 2 eventually. That could result from these type of coins. But don't get me wrong, Luna was a top performer the whole bull run, made massive gains, but then it dropped to 0 in a day. We called out Luna months before that shit happened. We called it out in March of 2021. It didn't really go to 0 until like April, or late April, or it was like May. It was May. I think it was Cinco de Mayo, May 5th or something. So I tend to smell some stuff like this out beforehand, and I've seen too many things, and kind of like, the same stuff just plays over and over again. Same cycle, different coin, different news, different narrative, but most of it rhymes. And I'm going to be diving into that whole ecosystem with EtherFi, because that coin just came out. Athena just came out, and then I'm seeing that the yields are high, and 35% USDC, synthetic dollar, all the same stuff, man. So especially going into a time of regulations and compliance and all this stuff, definitely going to be diving into what this all means, this whole aspect of the synthetic dollar. And I just smelled something up as far as this goes. I need to dive into it more, but I just wanted to put Athena and that whole, I don't even know the name. I think it's called EtherFi. I'm pretty sure, but I need to dive into it more. I've just been smelling some stuff as far as that goes. Another thing was like Ergo is another one. It's an ecosystem. It's a new kind of thing that's happening in this bull run. There's always a new thing, but I need to dive into it more. But I wanted to put it on your guys' radar for anybody who might be knowledgeable in this sector of the space. But I'm going to be doing some deep diving. But yeah, definitely on my radar. I just wanted to call it out ahead of time. So yeah, that was basically it. Definitely a longer video, but I wanted to cover this. I saw this. Also, the market just being at where it's at. I wanted to really dive into it and stress the importance of where we're at in the market, as well as I wanted to bring up this Athena and this whole kind of EtherFi ecosystem, especially when the SEC is now trying to classify Ethereum as security, the implications of that. Also, we got a solar eclipse coming up in like 5 days. We just had a huge earthquake in like Taiwan or something. A lot of stuff happening. And we're in a new quarter now, quarter 2. We're getting close to the Bitcoin halving. So many kind of things are lining up that it's definitely not time to rest on your laurels, for sure. So that's why I'm going to be spending all tomorrow getting my personal stuff wrapped up, because I already know that it's going to be a crazy market and just crazy world events for April. So I'm going to spend tomorrow during the day getting some things that I need to do squared away for my personal life, so I can be on the field, in the trenches with you guys on a day-to-day basis, constantly navigating the crypto craziness as it comes. So That's going to be it. You guys have any questions, join the Discord. It's Louis Leone in the Discord, but it's Rob at Stargate. Tag me if you have any questions. I'll be putting those links into those chats in the channels over there. And subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video with everybody you know that's in crypto. Let them know we're at an important time point. And also, if you're looking to get access to Stargate VIP, get all these premium channels, all this software, and so on, one-on-ones with me, group sessions, etc., then join the Discord, Louis Leone. Friend request me, send me a message, ask how you can get it, and we'll kit and suit you up with it. So that's it. I'll see you guys in the Discord and in the next video.